all local, all morning. You're watching Fox 61 Morning News.
Quite regularly, trains go by one or two times a day, and they go by slow. So, I mean, for 60 years, I've never heard of one derailing.
Shock and astonishment after a freight train derailed and sending multiple cars into the Willimantic River. This happened in Mansfield for a two-day operation involving heavy-duty cranes to upright the cars. That's about to begin today. This is what it looked like at the scene this morning. Our team is standing by to explain what's next in the cleanup process and the traffic detours people have to deal with who live in the area. There is currently a shelter-in-place order for those neighbors.
I can't imagine living close by and driving by and seeing that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Especially if you have kids with you.
Scary.
Startling. A lot of questions, yeah. Well, good morning to you. Thanks so much for starting your Friday morning off with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Erica Arias.
I'm Bridget Buerla. Thank goodness it is Friday, but we are heading into the coldest weekend of the year, so not crazy about that, Rachel Piscatelli.
Oh, it's dangerous cold on the way, too, and that's going to come after we get some snow showers tonight into tomorrow morning, which may cook things up and slow you down for the morning commute. In the meantime, today, or rather, not your morning commute, but at least where you're going on Saturday morning. Mostly cloudy for today. Snow showers develop tonight. So we do have this weather impact alert for Saturday beginning at midnight tonight through about 3 o'clock for slippery travel. Thinking up to about 3 inches of snow is likely. There could be some isolated higher amounts in northeastern Connecticut. You want to allow for extra travel time for your Saturday morning plans, and there may be some chance for some minor snow removal. The next story is this extreme cold on the way. We have an extreme cold warning across the state for tomorrow night into Sunday morning, with some of the most dangerous cold that we've had really all season long coming through into the evening. Wind chill values as low as 15 to 30 degrees below zero, frostbite in 10 minutes, as well as hypothermia for exposed skin. And this also could cause some infrastructure issues too, with some ruptured water pipes and things like that. So it does bear watching over time tonight, or rather really for Saturday into Sunday. Looking at temperatures right now, 3 degrees in Willimantic, 8 in Torrington. It's 10 right now in Windsor Locks, 18 along the shoreline. We do have a little bit of wind picking up 3 to about 13 miles per hour. That's going to take our real feel down along the shoreline to the single digits. For today, you'll see mostly cloudy skies. It's mainly dry. Temperatures move into the upper 30s. This afternoon to, or rather, upper 20s to near 30 degrees. So 34 in Wallingford, 32 degrees in Hartford, 29 in Litchfield. Southeastern Connecticut will be in the low to mid 30s as well. Heading through tonight, temperatures will drop back into the teens with a snow chance that begins to develop. Then towards the afternoon, temperatures on Saturday will be around 22 degrees, with it's going to usher in though some colder numbers as we head into the afternoon and evening. Winds start to pick up too for Saturday. We could see potential gusts closer to 40 to 45 miles per hour. Dangerous cold on the way Saturday night into Sunday. We'll have more details on it coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:03, we are following just one incident this morning. Any road work that was out there has cleared for the morning commute, so no significant issues in the area. We also have this one crash this morning on 84 eastbound approaching exit 31. This is to the right shoulder this morning, and of course we're following that road closure in Mansfield on Route 32. Bridget and Erica.
Rachel, thanks. At 6:03 Friday morning, we continue our live breaking news coverage into the train derailment in Mansfield.
It happened on the New England Central Railroad in the area of Stafford Road, also known as Connecticut Route 32. Now that road between routes 44 and 275 is still closed this morning.
Now take a look at the map here on your screen right now. It shows the half-mile radius shelter in place. That area is circled in red on your screen on the left-hand side. It's about 2 miles away from UConn's main campus. It's important to make this very clear. There is no evacuations order at this time. It's just a shelter-in-place order for that half-mile radius.
And this morning, we continue our live team coverage into the cleanup process. Priscilla Meza is hearing from neighbors who watched us all unfold. But we begin with Fox 61's Glenn Kittle. He joins us with what we know so far about what led up to the derailment, and also, Glenn, what we're learning about any impacts to public safety.
Yeah, good morning, Bridget, Erica. This is a massive train derailment. 13 cars ended up being derailed out of the more than 40 that the train was carrying. We know that officials plan on giving an update in just an hour from now here at the Mansfield Fire Department. We're going to make sure to bring you the latest updates on air and online as they come in. But just to give you a little view of the size and scope of this wreck, it's about a half mile of which this wreck spans. And we also know that several train cars that were derailed either flipped over, were in the water, and a couple even lost their wheels and axles. Now, out of the 43 cars the train was carrying, the 13 cars that were derailed, 6 of them were carrying liquid propane. Thankfully, nobody was hurt during this incident. Now, we know specialized cleanup crews were arriving on Thursday evening, and the cleanup operation is set to take at least a couple of days. Now, some of the tankers contained liquid propane, which we're told did remain intact, and out of precaution, folks living near that area are now under that shelter in place in that half-mile radius that you mentioned earlier. Now, only contents from one tanker ended up spilling into the nearby river, which happened to be more than 2,000 gallons of animal-based food grease and does not pose a serious risk to people or the environment. Now, yesterday, authorities spelled out what the process of fixing this train wreck and getting cars back on the rails is going to look like.
Yeah, it's typical for a derailment of this magnitude, and that's all part of the recovery effort to build those wheels and trucks back up and place the cars themselves back onto the track as we work through the next couple of days here.
Now, there's still a lot of questions on how this train derailment happened. We're going to be receiving that update, like I said, in about an hour from now from officials on hopefully they give us a little more insight to what exactly happened yesterday here in Mansfield. Live in Mansfield, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
This cleanup operation not going to be easy, especially heading into this brutally cold weekend. Just going to add to the layers of concern. Our live team coverage continues now with Fox 61's Priscilla Meza.
Yeah, Priscilla is live at the site of the derailment. We know that's right behind you, and you can only imagine what people in that community thought, what was going through their minds when they drove by and first saw it. Tell us a little bit more about how they said they reacted.
Yeah, good morning, Bridget and Erica. That's right. Yesterday, the scene drew people from the surrounding area, some out of concern, others just out of curiosity as traffic backed up and roads began to close. But this morning, the scene is still active. I'm going to take a step to the side so you can see here. And actually, as the morning goes on, we're seeing more and more crews come in. And we're actually seeing a few people down by the tracks, maybe not right now, right this second, but they have definitely been out here since we got on the scene this morning. You can see the train off the tracks where the derailment happened there. But yesterday, Fox 61 spoke with several of those people. Neighbors say freight trains pass through here every day, which is why seeing this is so hard to wrap their heads around. Now, some people say they first learned about the derailment after getting stuck in traffic as Route 32 was shut down between Route 44 East and Route 275. Now, the road is still closed this morning, so that's something to keep in mind for drivers. And others who live closest to the track say they were home when it happened but didn't hear anything out of the ordinary. And the derailment also drew the attention of spectators like Kevin Costello, who came from Bolton to get a closer look at the train.
My father worked in a warehouse, and I used to watch the trains go up and down the track all day long. And so when something like this happens, it obviously piques your interest. And it's good that nobody got hurt.
Now, that sense of shock mixed with relief is something that we heard a lot yesterday coming from people who were here in the area and saw everything. But this morning, the focus remains on cleanup and investigation. We'll be sure to keep you updated as soon as we learn more. Live in Mansfield, Priscilla Meza, Fox 61.
All right, Priscilla, thanks. Yeah. What a scary scene, though.
Very, very startling.
All right, we'll check back throughout the morning for sure. And you can watch this morning's press conference at 7 o'clock live here on our air at Fox 61. It's also going to be streaming on our free app, Fox 61 Plus. You can also find the latest developments from Mansfield and also the progress being made with the derailment cleanup efforts. All of that and more is at fox61.com. And at 6:09, we have an update this morning into the issues at the concierge apartments in Rocky Hill. 2 of the buildings have just been deemed unsafe by the town. Now, earlier this week, we shared with you how some people say that they hadn't had water or heat for 2 weeks. Now, those told to leave They had until midnight last night to get out. Hotel rooms were coordinated for anyone who needed a place to sleep. A lot of people we spoke with, they're still really panicked. They were trying to make sure that their families and pets were all okay.
Now getting a notice kind of last minute saying we have to be out by midnight, and just kind of like running around figuring out our arrangements with the animals and like where we're going to go.
In an email that we got here at Fox 61, leadership at the concierge told tenants that this was a decision they hoped they didn't have to make. They were hoping to have a monitored fire watch there on the facility while the sprinkler system was down and being fixed. However, at the end of the day, the town told leadership that this evacuation had to happen.